Well, all right, y'all. All across the USC, Compton, Watts, Bay to LA, Pomona, California, from valley to valley, we represent that killer Cali. So if you keeping it real on your side of your town, you tune in to Gangsta Chronicles.
Gangsta Chronicles, we gon' tell you how it goes.
If I lie, my nose will grow like Pinocchio. We gon' tell you the truth and nothing but the truth.
Gangsta Chronicles, this is not your average show.
You're now tuned into the real MC8, Big James, and Big Steel.
This is strictly from the streets.
Hello.
We represent the J's.
It's a lot of stuff right now. We got a rare guilty verdict. You know, these guys are liberated for a little bit over 10 hours, and they pronounced the former police officer, Derek Chauvin, guilty on all three charges: second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter for the murder of George Floyd. Now, that was surprising to me because I just knew they was going to come back with the shenanigans like they always do.
They couldn't have. That was hands down. They didn't have they had video and they had everything to convict that dude. And the video and the people that was there that saw him with his knee there, that testified, man, they couldn't have came with nothing else but guilty. So I can say about time.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised at all. I know a lot of people was reminiscing over that OJ shit or whatever. I mean, not OJ, but reminiscing over Rodney King and that type of shit. But I kind of felt that they wasn't finna let that slide, man. It's too. You see what happened just in the wake of what transpired behind him getting killed. So I don't think they wanted to fuck that up again as far as that road went. You know, we seen the horrible shit go down ourselves with the riots in '92 as far as Rodney King was concerned. So, and you see what happened there, man. Motherfuckers tore shit up. Even on the aspect with George Floyd, even before the verdict came down, niggas was tearing shit up. So I don't think they wanted to get that one wrong this time. You get me? I was sort of confident that they was finna shut my nigga down.
Well, you had to look at it. You didn't just have people in one state looking at it. You had people all across the world that saw that video and was upset about it. Not just black people, white people, Asians, everybody was mad at that. So to come back and say not guilty, that would have set off a lot of people, and then they was just seeing what it really is out here in America with black people. So there was no way in the world they was gonna come back and say not guilty. He was not gonna be acquitted whatsoever. And you know, but you got to look at it. You had a video with Rodney King, and they tried to do the same thing. We make him look like a drug addict. We make the other people look like they got a problem, and they've been doing us like that for the beginning. You know, look down on us, talk about us. We got records. So basically, it didn't work this time. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that dude know he killed him. The dude didn't have no expression on his face when they handcuffed him, when they read the verdict, no nothing. He was just looking like, okay. He knew he was going to jail.
Well, you know what I'm thinking too is they about to try his co-defendants, the police officers that was with him, because they need to go to jail too. They need to go to jail too. They sat there and watched the whole thing and didn't intervene. I believe they need to get passed down a nice healthy sentence themselves. And I'm real curious to what kind of time they sentenced this guy to. That's what we got to wait on, because it could be 5 years, it could be 4 years. You know, you just don't know. And I'm hoping for the best, but traditionally, I think we conditioned to expect the worst almost.
Not in this case, man. I don't see them coming back with no 5, no 7 years. I think he gonna get 20 and up, 20 or better, because, like I said, everybody is watching this. Just like the sentencing, just like the trial, everybody gonna want to see what they sentence him to. And that judge is not going to come with no no 5 years, man. That dude is finna get some time in prison. He got convicted of 3 counts. He ain't finna get no 5 years.
I hope not. You know, one thing this whole thing brought me, and I was doing some
It would be
research.
perfect. It would be perfect to like they do us, you know, when they get us in there and they tell a motherfucker, you know, we're gonna make an example out of you, motherfucker. So we're gonna make an example. We done fucked up. We know we've been fucking up. Justice system is fucked up. You know, the police brutality has been going on too motherfucking long. So we got to make an example of this situation right here for everyone that's watching, like you said, not just in America. This is like the whole world watching. So, you know, you've seen the outreach that went down. Like I said, we had Rodney King, but for George Floyd, man, this shit reached different nations. You feel me? You know, people was protesting in different countries and shit behind this. So this is we got to make an example of you, my nigga. You gonna have to go do the max that we can allow just to make an example of you that, you know, we can't tolerate the police, the behind the scenes killing niggas no more.
Oh no,
If
not
he
at
get
all.
40, if he get 40, they worked his ass. They did the right thing. But like I said, man, they look at police different than they look at us. Once a police officer commit a crime, to me, he ain't nothing but a civilian, and he should be treated just like us, as if one of us committed that crime. You know, you got brothers going to prison for life, getting life for murder, and this dude could walk out with 15 years, 10 years.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
you know what it makes me wonder though. You think about the police officers that's with these guys when they doing this stuff, and I know they got what's that thing called the blue shield, to where the cops never tell another cops because they scared sometimes. You had a sister, her name was Carrie Horn out of Chicago. You know, she said she was fired from the force in 2008 for stopping a fellow officer from choking a suspect. She said she never wanted another officer to go through what she went through for doing the right thing. And we got a clip of it. Check this out right here.
Tonight, a 7 Eyewitness News exclusive. Former Buffalo police officer Cariel Horn in a battle tonight to get her pension. She was fired for trying to stop a fellow officer she says was abusing a suspect. And tonight she is telling her side of the story to 7 Eyewitness News reporter Kendra Eaglin.
November 1st, 2006, there was a call of an officer in trouble at 707 Walden.
That officer, Gregory Kwiatkowski, who was responding to a domestic dispute inside of that home between Neil Mack and his girlfriend. When Officer Cariel Horn went into the house, she says Mack had already been placed under arrest.
He was handcuffed in the front, and he was sideways and being punched in the face by Gregory Kwiatkowski.
Horn and about 10 other officers who arrived at the scene helped drag Mack out of the home, but once outside, Horn says Officer Kwiatkowski was out of control.
Gregory Kwiatkowski turned Neil Mack around and started choking him. So then I'm like, Greg, you're choking him, because I thought whatever happened in the house, he was still upset about. So when he didn't stop choking him, then I just grabbed his arm from around Neil Mack's neck.
If that chokehold of a handcuffed suspect caught Horn off guard, it didn't prepare her for what she says Kwiatkowski did next.
He comes up and punches me in the face, and so I had to have my bridge replaced.
Horn says other officers pulled her back when she tried to defend herself. Following that incident, Horn was fired, charged with obstruction for jumping on Officer Kwiatkowski's back and or striking him with her hands. But Officer Kwiatkowski's own words seem to conflict with the charges. In sworn testimony, he says, she never got on top of me. Nonetheless, Horn lost every appeal, her 19-year career over, and she didn't qualify for a pension. The breadwinner for her 5 children, Horn, now a truck driver to make ends meet.
My daughter said, Mommy, why'd you go to work that day? She never said, why did you do what you did, or I wish you wouldn't have done it. She just said, I wish you wouldn't have gone to work that day. So I don't regret it.
Officer Kwiatkowski retired from the police force after he was suspended for choking another officer on the job, a separate incident of punching another officer when he was off the clock, and most recently, Kwiatkowski and 2 other officers were indicted on civil rights charges for holding down a black teenager and shooting him with a BB gun. As for Horn, the city has sent her case to the state retirement system for review. We contacted them for an update, but we haven't heard back yet.
See, you got to do it with a pattern right there. There's a couple of things that bother me about that motherfucker right there. You know, she's trying to stop him from choking this guy out because we could have, you know, definitely had another situation like we just went through. She stops him and does the right thing and gets fired. Now, the kind of cherry on top of this, the sister just won her lawsuit. I think she won like $1.5 million or something. She got her whole retirement and pension and everything. But just think about how many more police officers there are out there that kind of like, you know, they go drop the dime on their partner or whatever, and they get into some BS like that.
You said this thing, it's all kind of people out there like that. She ain't the only officer that went through it. This is what you got to go through, and this is how the police are, man. You know, and it's just fucked up. But we can't do shit about it. We could talk about it, but we ain't trying to fix the shit. We ain't trying to make it right. Everybody, I know A done got his ass whooped by the police, roughed up by the police. You can't go file a complaint against the police. They gonna ball that shit up as soon as you walk up out of there. That shit is unheard of. They protect each other.
That's why I said in our line of what we did and where we came from, like I said, you see that shit every day. It's not expected for you to go, oh, I'm gonna file a report. A nigga kick me in the ribs. Or I'm gonna nigga bust me in the mouth, in the chin with the flashlight, or what. When you in the trenches of the hoods and whatever, you know them motherfuckers is banging worse than we are in the hood. And if they come through and they handcuff you, you got about an 8 out of 10 chance of getting your motherfucking ass whooped. And you just took that. You know what I'm saying? We didn't go running off like that because it was expected. So no, we didn't file reports and shit like that. Never. Fuck it. I mean, nigga, they so and so fucked me up. That motherfucker kicked me in the ribs last night, man. That nigga, and you go about your business. You feel me?
Yeah, right. And like James said, we all have been touched on by the police. I wasn't never no gangbanger, and I don't got my ass whooped by the police before. I got to the point when I was living in North Long Beach, James, I had to move out that motherfucker because I had one cop. He had took me to jail over some bogus shit one time. Came back in, was towing my cars and shit like literally every other day, and the motherfucker would ride past my house like this, looking at me like this. Like you better not say nothing, just mad dogging me. All the time just being harassed to the point to where I had to move. And I had another partner that was a sheriff, right? He told me, he said, you got a lawsuit, you can file a lawsuit. I got a phone call from the chief commander when I filed a complaint. He told me I need to withdraw it or he couldn't be responsible for what happened to me.
And he wasn't lying. But that's fucked up though.
It's real fucked up.
You know what? A lot of people don't even pay attention, man. The police, the majority of the police are all police. They come to work with an attitude. Police are just like us. They have family issues, the whole nine at home. They go through shit. Some of them grew up being bullied. Some of them go to the military and come back with this fucking attitude. Want to blame they fucked up in the brain, and they bring that shit to the streets. Some motherfuckers get a kick out of, just like we did, got a kick out of beating up certain motherfuckers, or beating you know what I'm saying? And once you get used to that, it becomes a routine. And the police, the only thing they say, I don't give a fuck what happened to you. I'm going home to my family. And regardless of, and when just saying that bullshit, they not lying to you because this is the only thing on their fucking mind. You got police out there, man, that has to prove a point to the partner that he's with the business and I got your back regardless. you got some police ain't with it, but they just do it just because to fit into that blue shield bullshit or whatever the fuck they got going on. All of them out there ain't bad. All of them out there ain't bad.
Well, you see what happened to the sister.
Yeah, I mean, but she's not the only one that ain't bad. But the whole world goes against you when you turn against your own kind, and that's what happened to her. She went against her code, just like in the hood. We go against the code. You're an outcast, and that's what happened to her.
Yeah, you figure this happened in 2008, right? And it's 2021 now. She just got, I think, forgive me if I'm wrong, I think $1.5 million. That was 11 years ago, bro. Am my math right? That's 11 years, right?
Yeah.
That's 11 years ago.
Yo, you froze.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me, James?
Yeah, I hear you. I see you moving.
Yeah. You don't see me, Abe? Yeah, so you figure this sister went through all that stuff, and she said that he was doing other shit after that, James. It took them motherfuckers some years to fire this man. He choked another officer out, punched another officer, choked a black kid out. It's like, how much shenanigans and bullshit that he had to do before they fired this motherfucker? And they say something ain't right.
Oh, but they liked him. They liked him. That's why. He was that rough rider for them. They liked him. It wasn't until all his motherfucking bullshit kept piling up that they had to fuck around and terminate him. You get me? But he was one of them rough riders for them motherfuckers. So, you gonna go out and punk motherfuckers and choke them and motherfuckers? Man, please. We love this motherfucker right here. Hell no. We love he choking motherfuckers and taking that type of stand around the motherfucking community because it shows that they get more authority as the motherfucking cops. But now his bullshit start piling up and there's nothing they can do. Now you punch, you get me? His track record with fucking with other officers is already long. He punching out other officers. He motherfucking choking motherfuckers. But like I said, still, he one of them strong white cops. You feel me? They like that. They like that.
Yeah, and let me tell you one more point. He didn't get terminated at 8. He was allowed to retire. And correct me if I'm wrong, but when they retire, James, they get their full salary, don't they?
You're not listening to what I'm saying. He was a rider for the motherfuckers. So there was no way they finna just throw him under the bus like that. Nigga, we gonna allow you to retire so you can get your bread. You feel me? We boys out here stick together. You get me? So you go ahead and retire and we gonna sweep all that shit up under the rug and you still get your bread. But we can't allow you to continue when you got so many motherfucking reports of being a fuck up. Because in a minute, you're going to kill a nigga. And then we going to look stupid.